As in most environmental topics, scientists cannot seem to agree on the true degree of risks posed by pesticides. The public also seems misinformed and provides some illogical statements regarding the use of pesticides, like, it'll kill our pets, it will get asthma if I breathe in the fumes from the pesticides, things like that. No one seems to really value the continued use of either natural or synthetic pesticides. However, they also don't want to be inconvenienced by the pests that exit and disrupt their lives. So, do the risks of pesticides outweigh the bothersome burden of the insects and weeds on your patio party? I plan to calm everyone's fears by sharing the government-required regulations of pesticide applications, stating the benefits on the farm and beyond of pesticide usage, and identifying the greatest risk of all, the consequences of not using pesticides. My plan is to convince you of the true need for pesticides in today's world. First and foremost, you need to know that there are about 25,000 species of plants worldwide. Of those, 3% are weeds, 200 to 250 are major problems in regard to producing our food supply. In addition, farmers have to deal with about 500,000 insect species that like to munch on plants and stuff. According to Robert Bowling, a Texas A&M extension entomologist, in his May 12, 2015 article in the Food Journal, an online magazine, in 2003, it was estimated that if we didn't use pesticides to kill weeds, U.S. farmers would have lost $21 billion. Without the use of crop protection products, food production would decline and be in short supply. Products that create textiles such as cotton would also be in low supply. Now, it is not like farmers have containers and containers of pesticides that kill every kind of pest. It's not something they do with an apparent order. Dewey Rorick was quoted in the article by Bowling that the truth about crop protection products is the farmers use specific products for specific uses at very specific amounts. Farmers take a great many factors into account to determine which field requires which type of chemical, and many calculations are made prior to application. Additionally, protective equipment such as long sleeves, pants, gloves, and safety glasses, etc. must be worn if there's any concern regarding inhalation of fumes and other things like that. All of this is taught to farmers and applicators through programs which are administered through the federal government. According to her March 15, 2015 blog, The Prairie Californian, Jenny Rorick states that restricted use of pesticides make up about 1/4 of total pesticides used by farmers today, and that classification means they may not only be applied under the direct supervision of a trained applicator. That is someone who has license to purchase and apply the products. Certified applicators are required to keep very specific records of their pesticide applications. My dad, Ted Glock, is a certified pesticide applicator and has his card verifying his certification on him at all times. So as you have heard, the application of pesticides isn't random or haphazard. It is very well monitored. Now, do you want the good news or the bad news first? I'll give you the good news. There are actually many benefits of pesticide use to the agricultural community and the general public. As stated previously, crop production increases when pesticides are appropriately applied. However, there are also benefits to livestock. Livestock is constantly bothered by insects, which can worry them, and according to Pat Klitz, the manager of the Butler County Dairy near my home, they worry can cause dairy cows to produce their reduction of milk. In addition, there are poisonous plants that can be found in pastures, not a benefit to livestock, for farmers producing forage to livestock consumption. The use of appropriate pesticides can increase production. How many of you are concerned with wildlife habitats? Jerry Cooper shared his article written in September 2007 Crop Production magazine that pesticides are necessary to preserve these areas. They help the aquatic environments by eliminating weeds that choke aquatic life and slow the spread of invasive species. He also goes on to discuss that pesticides help with property values. Have you heard of termites? Do you know what they like to consume? The application of pesticides can control destructive termites and their nasty cousin, the carpenter ant. There are moths that like to nibble on valuable items, even those that are displayed at museums. In addition, pesticides can help create that perfectly landscaped home you want to show off. Pesticides can control the unwanted plants in ditches, driveways, and yards. Now for the bad news. What would happen if pesticides were eliminated or greatly restricted? Well, first, there would be an increase in illnesses. Of course, we are all concerned about mosquitoes spreading the West Nile virus. Now we're susceptible to the Zika virus. Additionally, insects can carry Lyme disease and malaria. Let's look at some of the health concerns that pesticides can prevent. The pesticide known as chlorine is added to water in a lot of communities to kill harmful bacteria. I'm guessing you don't think of chlorine as a pesticide. Well, according to Cooper and Dodson, in their National Resource Institute online magazine article on May 27, 2004, many disinfectants are pesticides and are used every day to control harmful and dangerous diseases that can be spread by a variety of pests. Disinfectants eliminate organisms and bacteria that can cause staph infections and Legionnaire's disease, among others. Rodenticides are pesticides used to control the rodent population in warehouses, housing projects, and other private sites. There's also avicides that are used to control bird populations and their droppings, which can cause lung diseases. Herbicides can help keep us safe. Department of Roads workers spray around intersections to help control the weed population that could get out of control and reduce visibility or cause water runoff that could cause hydroplaning. Some types of herbicides increase safety around railroad tracks and airplane runways. When fungicides are applied to jet fuel, there's a reduction of mold growth in the airplane fuel filters, making it safer to fly the friendly skies. Utility workers use pesticides to get rid of seedling trees that might grow to interfere with electric service. As I look at all of your faces, I see expressions of surprise that the term pesticide means so much more than preconceived nasty stuff that farmers use on their crops. Pesticide usage is needed much more in our lives. Did I mention weed control on golf courses and football fields? That not only make them look nice, but prevent the twisted knees and ankles for players. Prior to my conclusion, I would like to ask you if you have any questions regarding the use of pesticides. No questions? Okay. People who argue against the use of pesticides believe that pest elimination can be achieved without their use. While this may be true in a few isolated situations, most pest management programs around the home, on the farm, aboard planes, and in parks and natural areas rely on chemical control methods. Without these products and their continued government support and realistic regulated usages, farmers and non-farming individuals will never reap the benefits of pesticide usage and will only experience the consequences of unfolded pesticide supercontrols. In the use of pesticides as necessary evil, I'm convinced that it is necessary and not all evil, and I hope that I've convinced you all as well.